February 23rd, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Welcome back to Ace Attorney. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Before we keep going, I was going to say I noticed on the save screen it says Trial Former. It says Day 2 Trial Former. I mean like former and latter? Like the first of 2 trials? I'm confused. But I just figured I'd point out that I noticed that. So I guess there might be 2 trials? I don't know. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to the trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. There's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. First trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Will Emma not be in there? Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Okay, so she will be there. So I'm not all by myself. February 23rd, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. For 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office slot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will not pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The Kappa Queen? Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh ho, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Ah, and for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. They always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. The heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, no. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
Huh? What exactly does that mean?
Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective?
Aha! I know who you are. Kaffa?
Half-up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr.
Just who is this lady? I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks.
I suppose that's to keep the visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes?
Crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Fortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor.
How could an arrest be made on the spot? How did you, stop her long enough for the police to get there? Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright?
Can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Wait, are they talking about me? Anyhow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand, and she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching.
As you can say, there's no room for doubt.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
It's but a scratch. Alright. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. Someone's lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. If I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one.
Laid off.
Who's fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Which boyfriend?
This boyfriend. He's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes. This boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? Yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. security guard room is in the lot, in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I'm parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. You sensed something. So, you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like... how would you say... oh, yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
Young cheese.
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
Then I must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there, in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
My garish car, you mean?
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it? Indeed, it was.
What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. She's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick.
Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms, ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie?
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph. You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera.
Was that more exciting than just hanging it around your neck?
Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
Oh, that is unmistakably Lana Sky. So, what was the defendant doing at that time?
The prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying.
Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? That it is your knife, after all. That's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
You can't testify to her as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person.
Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So, the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Tell the court why he didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no?
The defense has a point.
Fortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late.
Too late.
Yes, the next moment, Chief Prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. Okay, let me look over my evidence here. I've pressed her on literally everything. I've got like nothing. Tuesday would come, I was on my way to deliver lunchbox to my boyfriend. Sensed something, perhaps it was a finally home detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Old-fashioned, yeah. Gotta be something I can, like, object with, right? Or something? I don't know what. Maybe something with this? Maybe? And a knife in her right hand. Didn't say anything about being left-handed or right-handed specifically. I don't know if knives can be left or right-handed. In the picture, is she holding it in her right hand? She's not holding anything. There's already blood, so it could be just still in the victim. At the same time, why would that be? And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. Already said, yes. I swear, on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
That sure is a fine lunch.
But isn't that odd? This photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife?
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. Had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. It was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. It was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? And there's already blood on her? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph.
Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Oh, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem except to you. Mr. Wright, are you just gonna sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? I feel like I should object. What would I object with? Screw it. Now that you mention it, I see no problem here, other than myself. Mr. Wright, you can't just let him walk all over you. That's just sad. Feeling sad, Mr. Wright? Perhaps a bittersweet first love lunchbox is in order.
Well, that was a waste of time. Let's continue with the testimony.
Perhaps I should have dug a little deeper. Maybe I should have objected. I don't know. You think maybe I could try it again? What if I do it again? I pick objection this time. Sis, you saw. Already said yes. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment that she witnessed the crime. It seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? You're going out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. And I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in the photograph.
Whoa. Are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves.
These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
The murder was planned. Rubber gloves prove it. Do you have anything to prove otherwise? Maybe the phone call? Well, I don't know. Let's do anything. Wait. If it was planned, how did she plan to use Edward's stuff? Witness, do you know what this is? You're trying to test me. I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edward's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. In this case, the bloody murder weapon and a red car, all belonging to a prosecutor there? Such and such. The defense has a request. He asks that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? Your testimony. You stated that Lana Sky planned this murder. That's why she was wearing the special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good point. I'm just saying, I was thinking more along the lines of it being Edgeworth specifically, but...
Order.
Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. Prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. No one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need to prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. Suppose you think you're clever now. You know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing?
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you! My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated.
Really now?
Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again and again. She only did it once. One knife wound.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. That sounds a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
I already know where I'm going. That was not a single stab. Boom! Objection! You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. My moss surprise! I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as you wait, Miss Star.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound.
Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk! He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
The red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. A red muffler. Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. Isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood?
Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib.
Judge with a bib? That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her, Jess. However, the autopsy report is clear on the matter. There was only one knife from the wound. Only one knife wound, sorry. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance! Chance for what, I wonder? Star's turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest, it's a scientific fact. No wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? You add more wax, and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Yeah. The picture they showed, she's not wearing a scarf. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself. With this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life.
Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What?
Very well, witness, continue your testimony. Tell the crime you apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
Most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. Next testimony might just be the moment of truth. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Chief Prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, her resistance is futile.
You were quite determined about the scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No, thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
Oil drum?
Hard to imagine. Well, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Wow.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. Back to the pressure on everything tactic. So, where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means next to this wall. My goodness, I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? The car explained her rights to her and arrested her on the spot. Said quickly, you were close to the suspect. Wait. Hang on. She was on the B side, right? So how could she arrest her? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Should press it for more details. Oh shoot, I hit the wrong one. Well, you may continue your testimony. I thought that... Press her. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was visitor, but thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here?
That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right.
There was a chain link fence in front of me.
Went over it, of course.
Amazing. The Kappa Queen, lunch lady athlete indeed.
But it have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was like about 9 feet high, too. How did Miss Sky not get away? I guess just keep pressing her. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered correctly, if I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. I mean, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Just that one word?
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... By phone, you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately. My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr.
Chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall?
That's right. Near the cart, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order.
So she used her cell phone?
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should of course add this to your testimony.
Things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. Press. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
Oh, I was going to ask the same thing.
I only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Chief prosecutor stabbed the victim right behind the partition. After she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. She pulled her own phone out of her pocket. During that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. When I boldly grabbed her arm, Chief Prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this. What is it, Mr. Wright? She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pate of foie gras. Huh? She kicked over an oil drum at me. Yeah, an oil drum.
There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime.
But it's strange.
What's that?
If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way?
The other? Oh. The parking lot entrance.
That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. The Sky tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me. So there's no way that she could have seen it. Mr. R, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. The testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought that you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Ahem, let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were B-blocked, you couldn't have seen it.
Order, order. What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. Grr. That's quite a climb, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question? That's exactly what lie this witness has told the court. This is where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. I'm gonna slide about. She lied about what she saw. In other words, she didn't see Miss Sky using that emergency phone.
It does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical.
What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox? Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory. Why would Miss Star lie like that? Huh? Why'd she say that my sister had tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant? Oh, dang, she's right. I mean, she really did try to use the emergency phone. Or maybe she really did. I see no room for doubt here. Ordered the Patouille rice, right?
Mr. Wright, I thought you had something there.
Ugh, one more try. I see it in your eyes. You haven't learned your lesson, have you? That's exactly what lie the witness has told the court. What's wrong? She lied about, let's see, where she saw it then? This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Star to lie about it. Pointless to lie.
Pointless to lie. I see.
But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Star witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Well, that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we've heard till now points in one direction. The show where Miss Star witness's crime was here. Part of me is thinking over, thinking over here. Because there's a picture of the A, but she still wouldn't really be able to see the phone from here. But so in the other place I could see her, but then so I'd say she could be over here, but then she wouldn't have been able to see the crime. So you'd have to be able to see both places. Oh, the security room, her boyfriend. This is the only place where she could have been.
Security guard room.
Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are so many other places she could have seen the phone.
But how did she take the picture? I think the picture wouldn't make sense that way. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in the A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? I think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has gotten the better of Angel Starr.
Order, order. Witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. Guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty.
Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly.
This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands.
It still stands.
I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
The witness is found to be lying. They're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So, tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. The Star witnessed the crime from the security guard station. She lied and said she saw it from B block. Let's make a vital difference, but about what? What would change? So angle of view to the crime doesn't... We've already pointed that out and hasn't changed anything. Lighting doesn't make any sense, because lighting doesn't... The lighting of what you're looking at doesn't change depending on your angle. And I guess like there could be like a... Like if the lighting was all on one side... Well, that wouldn't make any sense. So by process of elimination, I'm going with distance to the crime. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. Distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. Let's see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky?
Well, witness?
Yes. You ordered the squid wheels, right? Quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with a fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend?
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running toward the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. So I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block.
That's quite a detour.
Probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes. This changes things considerably.
But that woman... It was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point. The spork is a wonderful invention.
Do you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do you have any evidence to stop this? Yeah, I think I've got a couple pieces I can pick from. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank? Isn't that strange? Ugh. Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
If you have the instincts of a killer, you would run. This time it was different. This guy dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah.
Well then, seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go?
Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close.
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. With that, court is adjourned.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's one she just tried to foist off on me. I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. Is she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? Should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe, did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. The other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. Why would her own blood be on there?
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed. Didn't I mention I have 3 boyfriends in forensics? In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the rules of the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1: no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. First Sir is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensic department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
I think to ensure the guilty are properly judged.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Let's run everything! The usual tactic, let's go. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results. How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This is when the suspect is admitting she did it.
But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Just get this over with.
How does it matter? The victim's shoes did not bring us up. You found the shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I learned to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. Like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off for the shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe is my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really.
In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now just tell us what you did next.
Part of what I'm thinking is why would the defendant's blood be on the shoe? Why would she be bleeding? So you brought it to the forensics department. You're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. She got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed, after all. That blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. I said there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. Another blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You had to know something about blood tests, Rookie? Huh? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood.
That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. It means that we can more or less narrow down any sample of blood down to just one person. So I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. They said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
Ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Let's just have it just go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? Problem. This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There's a problem. I'm not imagining things. So there's one critical problem with this evidence, a clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I could give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about this victim's shoe? What's the problem with the evidence?
I'm gonna assume it's the blood splatter? Next week I have to do it this way. Wait. Oh, I just realized. So the blood spatter is on the opposite side here. Wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. That wasn't what I was going for, but okay. Don't mess with me, rookie. And I guess I kind of was going for it, but I was mostly trying to lean into the having her blood on there for some reason. Having Lana's blood on there. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Indeed. There is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
Makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory but the blood on the bottom of the shoe? He's not wearing white shoes. Problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Aren't there any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? And she's wearing black shoes in the picture. That was my main point. I'm doing the right things, but not for the reason they want me to.
Aha!
As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort.
Order, order, order. Well, witness...
What? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of footprints is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh.
That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think. Yeah, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I say, now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth in her testimony.
What are you talking about?
In fact, when she told us about apprehending the suspect. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside and kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Where? The thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness. Well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? You want to know the reason she knocked it over. The real reason.
Aha! You don't mean...
Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. Or to erase the blood stains that would become evidence against her. But
that ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to this murder. And after her deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Skye's right hand was hurt. Did she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? How does that even make sense? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. What? Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor.
Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant Miss Lana Sky.
Hold it. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid the evidence by erasing bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, why just don't tell me you have something else?
Time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you'll be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough up, Queen. Look at this.
Oh, photograph.
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest. The white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
Oh, so it was for the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet.
Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case at the beginning.
And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. Sorry, Mia. Right, better not. You're so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence.
Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, I can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I gotta go ahead with this.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show me the problem in this photograph.
The muffler. Or the exhaust pipe, I should say. Looking here in the exhaust pipe. And there's a shoe by. I'm gonna say this is new. And she kept saying something about a muffler earlier, so. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor.
You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
Muffler is also part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Think of it as the part of the exhaust system, a pipe.
I see. What's a suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
Huh. So what if there was something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Star, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said it as much in your testimony. What?
Let's see what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case. Aha!
Miss Star, recall your testimony for the court. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what she had me confused in my testimony earlier. Muffler?
Yar, matey.
Could be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe. If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh.
Well, it seems you'll have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If you have any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have a car at the crime scene inspected at once. Bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after you've seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so. Oof, that was close. But we made it, at least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
He's still hungry?
To be continued.
Oh, so maybe that's the thing about trial format. It's just the first half of the trial. The second half is next. Okay. Well, that's going to be all for today's episode. So thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.